beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is going to be another episode of my TBR game, Scrabble Picks My TBR. If this is your first time here, first of all, welcome. Secondly, I will link in the card up above a video explaining the rules of this TBR game. It is pretty simple. Every single month I spell 5 words in a game of Scrabble. Those 5 words act as my reading prompts for the month, and I must successfully complete the prompt to collect the points for that word. Once I receive 150 points, I get to clear the board and start fresh. So, did I read all the books that I picked out last month? The answer is no. No, I did not. I did not read A Fire Endless or The Fiery Cross. So, I really utterly failed. I only read 3 out of the 5 books I chose, and I currently only have 33 points. Oh well, it is what it is. We'll try to be a little more successful at completing the TBR this month. Before we dive into the picks, are there any books that I am looking to read this month? For this month's Read Christie prompt, I'm going to be reading Murder in the Mews. This is a collection of Perrault short stories and novellas. Also, my father suggested to me that this month we should buddy read Washington Square by Henry James. We both read Daisy Miller by Henry James together several years ago, and Washington Square is the other story in this Barnes & Noble Classics edition we both have. So he decided to read it and he wants me to read it with him. I said sure. I think it's pretty short. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what it's about. I know it was adapted into a film starring Olivia de Havilland, which I have not seen. But I think it's a pretty short novella. I guess it's technically a novella. So I will be attempting to read that this month. I don't know if I will put either of those books on the TBR. I don't think either of them should take me a lot of time to read, but we'll see. Alright, let's just get into the picks. My phone has not been working that well, so hopefully the audio quality will be good. I'm sorry if it's not as good as usual. I will probably be buying a new phone soon. It's just a really big purchase and a lot of money that I know I should spend, but I don't really want to. Anyways, let's just dive into this month's TBR prompts. So these are the prompts from last month. Drizzle is behind me purring madly. You can't really see her, but she's there. And I need to start with 4 letters. I moved it back a little bit so you can see the whole board, but okay. A. Oh no, the chandelier is flickering. Oh no. I think it stopped. Okay, Y. I can't. Which way is up? S. S. Hopefully that chandelier doesn't flicker again. That would be bad. I. Okay. For the first prompt of the month, I'm going to spell height. That has 2 double letter scores on Y and E. So that's 2, 5, 13, 17? Is that correct? I think so. So the first prompt for this month is hype, and I am planning for this prompt to finally read The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. This is a book that I've heard so many good things about, both from people on BookTube and people in real life. This is the first in a series following a group of elderly people living in a British retirement village. Every Thursday night, they meet together to talk about crime, and so when someone in their village is actually murdered, they of course decide that they are going to solve it. I put this book on hold at my library, and it seems like I should be able to get it for this month's TBR. If for some reason I'm not able to get my hands on a copy, I will pick something else. But this is a book that I've really wanted to read for a long time. I put it on my 5-star predictions list. I have just heard so many glowing reviews. So many people describe these books as being very delightful mysteries, and I am excited to hopefully finally give it a try for myself. That will be the first book on this month's TBR. T. S. L. So this is a prompt that I have really wanted to do for quite some time now. Nails. So I always film these Scrabble TBRs right after I get my nails done, since you're looking at my hands, and I want to read a book that matches my nails. I got yellow this time, so it might be a little difficult. I feel like yellow, I don't have that many yellow books, but I'm sure I can find something that has this shade of yellow on it. It's like a golden yellow. I don't know. I'll see what I can find. It may not be an extremely yellow cover, but I'll try to find something that has the shade of yellow on it. Next, for the prompt, matches my nails, I decided to go with Elizabeth and Lester, Power, Passion, Politics by Sarah Gristwood. As you can see, there's yellow here, and the back is all yellow. It's not exactly the exact same shade, but pretty close, and yellow books are a little hard to find. I also figured it would be good to knock off one of the books from my physical TBR. I've had this book for a little while. It is a historical nonfiction book about the relationship between Queen Elizabeth I and her favorite, Robert Dudley, Earl of Leicester. The two of them had a very close relationship, and there is debate among historical scholars about whether or not the two of them were actually romantically involved. Personally, I think even if they were not physically involved, it seems like there were definitely some emotions there. They knew each other since they were relatively young, and after the Earl of Leicester's death, Queen Elizabeth I kept the last letter he ever wrote to her in a box beside her bed labeled his last letter. And if that does not scream love, I don't know what does. I picked this up because the Tudor era is one of my favorite historical eras to read about, and Sarah Gristwood has written a lot of historical nonfiction books. So if I like this book of hers, then there are lots of other titles for me to pick up by her. This will be the second book on this month's TBR. R. So I need 5 letters this time. 5. I. L. E. And W. Before I spell this, I realized I forgot to calculate how many points the last prompt would have been. So for this one, I get points for nails and flames. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 plus 1. Wait, this was a double. Okay, so a double word score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2 is 10. So 11 plus 10, 21. Now I can spell the next prompt. Yes, Drizzle. Yes. And for this one, I'm going to go with title. And this could mean multiple things. It could be a book that I think has a really good title. It could do a book that has the same title as another book I've read before. I could do a random letter generator, and whatever the letter is, that's what the title has to start with. So there are several options for this. Now, in terms of points, this is also a double word score. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. 10 points. Next, for the prompt title, I decided to use a random letter generator and then pick a book where the title starts with that letter. The letter that I ended up getting was S. I had a lot of options, but I decided what I'm going to read for this prompt is Stay Awake by Megan Golden. This is a contemporary mystery thriller following Liv. Liv wakes up in the back of a taxi with no memories of the past 2 years of her life. There is a stranger living in her apartment. She doesn't know what happened to her phone, and she discovers a blood-stained knife in her pocket. Written all over her hands in black ink is the phrase, "Stay awake." Liv then finds herself on the run for a crime she doesn't remember committing as she tries to piece together the last 2 years of her life. I think this book sounds so interesting. The concept really intrigues me. I will say though, I read 2 other books by Megan Golden, The Escape Room and The Night Swim. Didn't really care for either. I know that I have a hot take on The Night Swim. I think it's overrated. So this will really be Megan Golden's last chance to impress me. If I don't like this book, I'm just gonna give up on her, I think, but the concept does sound really good, so I'm hoping that I will like it. We'll see what happens. P. K. A. I. Okay, I'm not really sure, but I think what I'm gonna do, this is not gonna be really worth my points, but I don't know. This is what I'm thinking of, and I think it could be a fun prompt, so I'm gonna spell wrap, which is just 9 points. And for this, I'm going to read a book featured in another BookTuber's wrap-up video. Next, a book that I saw in someone else's wrap-up. So when I'm filming this, it is currently the 28th of May, and not many people have posted their wrap-ups yet. So I think later this week, I am going to go on YouTube and search for reading wrap-ups for the month of May, and then I will put a screen recording in here with the book that I end up choosing. Hello, future Jackie jumping in here. So I must confess, I was actually getting really impatient waiting for people to post their wrap-up videos. So today is June 1st. Still, most people haven't posted their wrap-up videos. I haven't posted mine, but I realized I could go on Instagram and look under hashtag reading wrap-up to pick something from someone's post. I ended up seeing this post from a user named Baggins Bookshelf. This was the first post I saw where one of the books included was on my TBR. So for this prompt, I will be reading The Toll by Neal Shusterman. And honestly, I am not mad at this because this is the last book I have to read in the Arc of the Scythe trilogy, and once I read it, I will be done. So I think that'll be a good series to check off this month, and thank you to this user. So the total will be what I am reading for the wrap prompt. Now let's go back to the video. S. It's like our third S today, isn't it? It's upside down, but N. R. Maybe there's something worth more that I could be doing, but I can't think of anything right now, so I'm gonna spell warm. That's another double word score. I'm killing it with the double word scores today. So that's 7, 8, 9 times 2, 18 points. Actually, you can interpret this prompt two ways. I could read a book set in a warm climate or a warm setting, or I could read a book with warm colors on the cover. So like reds, oranges, that sort of vibe. Either way. Finally, for the prompt warm, I'm going to choose a book that has both a warm colored cover and is set in a warm climate. I'm going to read Murder in Old Bombay by Neve March. I'm assuming it's pronounced Neve because that's how I've heard this name pronounced. I could be wrong. But this is the first in the Captain Jim and Lady Diana mysteries. It is set in British colonial India in the year 1892. Our main character, Captain Jim Aganotri, is called on by a family to investigate the recent deaths of two women in the family. They both died after falling from the university's clock tower, and the deaths were ruled suicides, but the family is not convinced that that's actually what happened. Captain Jim then investigates, aided by the lively Lady Diana, the sister of the two dead women. This is the first in a series, and I love a good historical mystery series. Interestingly enough, this book was also the 2020 winner of the Best First Crime Novel competition hosted by the Mystery Writers of America and Minotaur Books. I mentioned in my most recent writing vlog that I'm thinking about potentially entering that contest. So that's really interesting that this book was on my TBR and I didn't even realize it won the contest. So, hey. But that is it for this month's prompts. These are the letters that I still have left over. I might have to use one of these star tiles next month. We'll see. Because, you know, the K, that's a hard letter. And I have two S's. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's good that I still have all my special tiles in play. That gives me some breathing room, you know? Okay, guys. So I'm going to have to potentially read a lot of books this month. Let's recap. I am going to be reading The Thursday Murder Club, Elizabeth and Lester, whatever I choose for the wrap-up prompt, Stay Awake by Megan Golden, Murder in Old Bombay, plus Murder in the Muse, and potentially Washington Square. That's 7 books, but I think I can do it. I really do think that I can. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. My social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fascinating rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.